Hello, viewers. Welcome to a special feature of She Site magazine. I'm Dr. Abha Pimprikar, dentist and entrepreneur, also a columnist for She Site magazine. We will be talking to a well-known personality from theaters. She's a founder of Theatre for Change, the community that takes up a social cause and addresses that social cause through the theatricals. Now, let us welcome our guest, Sujatha Balakrishnan. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abba, for having me on this amazing
Yeah.
platform. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Before we start discussing about your activity or your initiative, Theatre for Change, please tell us about yourself.
To put it in a nutshell, I was actually uh, born in a born and raised in a very conservative Tambram household. But then, I was always exposed to a lot of political and socially conscious plays, that too in my mother tongue, Tamil. So I think that I feel should have sowed the seeds of, critical questioning and just not accepting things, and then to stand up for unfairness which is surrounding you. So I used to keep asking questions for everything. I never used to accept anything that was just told, and I would just not do it. So I think this was the reason, and as I grew up, I think it really influenced my views, on society and other things. And then I also got married at a very young age of 20. And I would say that my marriage was a turning point in my life. Because as I told you, I was from a very conservative Tambaram household. And the stage and the spotlight have always fascinated me from a very young age of 7. Any opportunity that I used to get, I used to just grab it. But then it was very, very limited, because there were a lot of taboos, like, you cannot get onto stage and certain things. So I did small chota mota roles in school plays and college plays. And I was in a very happening college in Bangalore. I don't know whether you've heard of it, Mount Carmel. It just churned down lots of personalities, beauty pageants and politicians. And so I was in that kind of a college. So I was a misfit. Because can you believe it, doctor, at the age of 18, my father used to drop me and pick me up from college. That was the kind of lifestyle. So, but I was always, as I told you, a very rebellious character. So, like, things fascinated me. Simple things like applying dark lipstick or wearing sleeveless, but those were not allowed. So, what I was do, whether I, packed my college books or notes, these two would definitely get into my bag. A couple of lipsticks and, a couple of sleeveless tops. So I used to get into college. The moment my father used to drop me, I used to rush to the restroom and change and then flaunt with my. So this was the kind of background that I grew up. And fortunately, unfortunately, I also fell in love with a boy. And I was in college. But then he did not belong to my community. So that again became an issue. And my father said, okay, I was doing my, graduation, undergrad in I was doing my Bachelor of Arts. And he said, enough of all those studies now, let me get you married. So it happened, but as I told you, that was the turning point in my life. I got married to the most progressive man and family on earth. I tell you this because on the first day of marriage, this is what my husband told me, and it continues. And I've been married for 45 years. This is what he told me. You do not, please, first thing is you need to remove permission from your vocabulary or dictionary, because you have the freedom. He didn't say you have the my permission. He said you have the freedom to make your life choices because it is your life. I don't come in the way, right? So that should be the ground rule for our marriage. But again, this question, doctor, always loops back to me. When I was given the freedom, not the permission, to do what I wanted, I again went back. My daughter was born the very next year of marriage, and I chose to be a homemaker, to be a caregiver, the primary caregiver, to raise my child. Why did I do that? So it's again I keep saying, this is a very lengthy debate, on nature versus nurture. Is it because of the social conditioning that I was raised in such a patriarchal, conservative environment that made me make this choice? I don't know. So anyway, I was given the choice, but then I made this choice and I have no regrets until date. So, but then when my daughter turned 15 and 16 and 17, and then she went out of college, that was the time, when my acting bug. And also I was just an undergrad, but my husband wanted me to study further. So I did because teaching, I'm a people's person. I love to interact with people, and children will also have been, I just love children. So I thought the best thing would be to do a teaching degree along with the psychology degree. So I did my bachelor's in education, also got my master's in psychology. And for 20 to 25 years, I worked in different capacities as a teacher, as a counselor, educational coordinator at different schools. But then when I almost reached 50, I said, now I have to do what I really am passionate about. So the acting bug, which was lying dormant, now it came to the forefront, or it became dominant. And you know how it is when you're 50. You do not get any opportunities, whether it's the film world or whether it's, in the theater thing or wherever it is. You're always, it's always sidelined. But I was very persistent that I have to do it. And at that point of time, in the year 2014, my daughter was in the US for her higher studies. And I used to go every year there. And I used to volunteer in the public schools. And being a counselor, I was appalled the way the special needs children or the differently abled community are treated in our country. They're doing a great job. You have a lot of special needs schools and other things. But then you are isolating them from the so-called regular stream of school. So the interaction is less. So what happens in the bargain? The so-called normal children are not sensitized. So when they see a child with autism, or any special needs child, they look at them with a different lens. And this really bothered me as a psychologist and as a teacher. That is the time I said I should use theater, which is a very powerful medium of conveying social messages. Ableism, and this was ableism. You are ridiculing the ability of a child. And that is the year 2015 that Theatre for Change was born. And my pilot project was about the special needs children, about their community. Yeah. So this was the reason, because the kind of unfairness going around.
Udan was the first project?
Which one?
Udan?
Yes, Udan was my first project.
It was the first project for the specially able children. And it was received very well by the audiences, I guess.
Yes, it was received.
So can you tell us a little about it? Also, in one of your social media posts, I came across one word, artivism, which is a combination of art and activism. You can say it is a coined word. So we would like to know a little more about that too.
Yeah. So to encapsulate, as I told you about the children, when I got to know, then I said that my pilot project will be Udan. And I used the metaphor Udan because Udan means flight, and undoubtedly differently abled, amazing nebulae, the beautiful stars in the sky, right? So that was the thing. And the highlight of the program was I would say? I got a special needs, a child who was on the autism border spectrum to play the role, because I did not want the so-called normal children, which I call temporarily normal, I use that, to portray the role of a differently abled child. But it was not easy because she was not able to express herself. But I thought it would have a lot of impact. And also it will connect with the audience if I'm going to get her on stage. And a lot of people around me ridiculed and even challenged me, and they said, I think you're being crazy to have such a person on stage, because suppose she just stops in the middle of the thing, what will happen? I said, then it's not my problem. It's the problem of the audience who do not have any compassion, who are not able to understand the child. But it was not easy, doctor. It was 3 to 4 months went for me. And the mother was such a sweet person. She was there every day for rehearsals. And again, I would like to share this anecdote where there were the so-called normal children who were also a part of the play. So it's about school and how she's being ridiculed. That is the storyline. The first day, or even for a couple of weeks, they were always getting into groups and then, kusur pusur talking about that child because she was not like them. That means they were not sensitized. And it hurt me a lot. And it hurt the child's mother as well, the protagonist's mother as well. But believe me, at the end of the rehearsals and when the main day, the D-Day came, the show was as I told you, resounding success. The parents came up to me and said, "Ma'am, we really owe a lot to you because you have sensitized our children." And during the last day of rehearsals, they all got like a family. And they almost embraced Sanjana, saying that you are one amongst us. And that is what is the message even the protagonist was pleading to the society, saying that I have emotions, I have feelings. Please understand and accept me as your peer. And the vision was accomplished. And that made me realize the power of theater again. So and I said I should continue it. And when you say art and activism, these go hand in hand. They can live together. They can coexist. It's very important that we use art for activism. That's why it's called as artivism. Sometimes we also say HEARTVISM. So it is from the heart. Heartivism. We also call it heartivism. Yeah.
Right,
that means both can coexist. They can live. They complement one another.
Right.
Yeah.
But whatever I'm listening from you, I'm getting a feeling that it is a high time that we teach our kids about not only compassion, but also about empathy. Definitely, it is the area where, as parents, we
Yeah.
need to work around. Right.
As
Ma'am,
parents and also as a society, we need to get the skills in these children. We need to equip them with these skills, empathetic skills, emotional
right.
intelligence, as we call,
Correct.
right? In the
Correct.
language of
Right.
psychology. They need to be, see, nobody wants sympathy. Let me tell you, nobody wants sympathy. You should have empathy to be able to get into the shoes of that person and view the world.
Right.
That
Right. I don't think this conversation will be complete without we discussing about your awards and accolades.
Yeah, awards and certificates, as I told you, I have always felt these are all just one extra this thing which you adorn your living room with. But the moment you get this, or the moment you're nominated for an award, then I think your accountability towards community work, and also that means the society expects more from you, good work, so that becomes more accountable. And the awards, if I could say, like awards, I think I got 2 Rotary Awards, Rotary International Awards. One was for the best teacher in the special needs category, special needs category, and the other one was for social service. I think I got it in 2020 and 21 in succession, I think. And of course, then there was a very well-known NGO in Chennai, which works for the education of underprivileged children. They are doing an awesome job. Yeah, paying up the tuition fees and all that. They're doing great job. So they nominated me. I was surprised when I got a call from Chennai because, these nominations and these awards and all, sometimes there are a lot of, like a prank, and it's not a genuine thing. So I did not want to. So I had to, the moment they called me, I said, "How did you get my number?" That was the first question they asked them. Because they can source the numbers very easily, and they could just take you for a ride. So because the awards don't mean anything to me, so I told them, "You please, first thing, I'm happy that you're calling and you want to nominate me, but you please tell me, how did you get my phone number?" They said, "No, because I've been featured in very top Tamil magazines. They have brought out my story." So I think they have seen the Tamil story there in that magazine, Kumudam. And they have contacted the print media, the magazine section, and they have asked them that we would like to connect with Mrs. Sujatha Balakrishnan. We want to nominate her for a Lifetime Achievement Award. So then I thought there was some kind of, sincerity, and there is some kind of, truth in that. So then I got nominated for that. Then this year in Hyderabad, I was again nominated by Hyderabad NGO. Women Achievers Award. As I told you, it's nice. You feel, the only thing, you feel good that your little work is being recognized.
Right.
Right, on a huge platform, which means a lot. And I always feel like, people like us, we are all the unsung heroes, or people we are all ordinary people. We don't do extraordinary work. But through these awards, they make us extraordinary. They make us extraordinary. Right. And of course, that feeling of, oh, that's so nice that you're being recognized. It means a lot. Right. So that is actually for me the response or the reflection on any award that I received.
Ma'am, is there any takeaway message for our viewers? Also, if after listening to you and knowing about your activity, if someone wants to get in touch with you or want to conduct the theatricals in their town or city, then
more
how
than
should
happy.
they go about it?
Then they can email me. I have the official email ID. You can actually email thing, and we would be more than happy to actually, take it to different cities, and it'll be very nice, because the Rotary actually in Chennai, they actually sponsored one of our shows, the same, When the Rainbow is Enough. We did it at Stella Maris College there, the Center for Women's Studies. Yeah. So if there's any opportunity to come to Nashik, please tell me, because for me, the moment you said Nashik, I said, oh my God, I have to go see Baba. I told my husband also, he was also excited, I said, I visited somewhere way back, saying it's really nice, to know that you're staying in such a holy land. Yeah, message for me, the message is very simple. People say, how do you follow your passion? How do you follow your heart? Because it knows your true calling. See, the moment you start thinking from here, it becomes very, very, it becomes very, very, what do you say, very intelligent, and you're not able to really do what you want, because too much of rationality comes in. What will happen if we do this? What will society say? What will do? What will this one say? So this kind of lot of questions keep Jill, right? They just come out like a volcano, right? So that time you're confused, overthinking. Then you don't know what to do. So you say, oh, it's better that you let me know. So, but when you follow your heart, this does not happen, because it knows your true calling. And the moment you follow your heart, you're able to do what you want. That's why I said heartivism. You're able to do it, through your heart, you'll be able to do any kind of art that you want, or any type of activism that you want to do. Your heart will be the true calling. So you need to follow your heart. Yeah. And I tell youngsters of today also, whoever it is, just live life to the fullest. Live life to the fullest and do whatever you want, because women are never asked, do you want to do anything? What's your choice? Has anybody in the household asked the woman of the house, do you want to do this thing? Do you have any aspirations? What's your choice? I don't think anybody is asked. So through my message, I will tell women, don't expect people to ask you what's your choice. You start making your choices. You have to do it for yourself. It's like you have to stand up for your rights. You need to start making your choices. Right? As long as it gives you satisfaction, and as long as you don't harm the society. Right? Through your deeds. That is important. Your actions should speak about you. Right? That's it.
So I guess on that note, we come to the end of this video. Thank you so much, Sujatha ma'am, for your valuable timing and the quotes and messages that you have shared with us. Theaters can be used for other purposes, and here we are using it for a social cause. So thank you very much, ma'am, and She Sight Magazine. Thanks a lot. Good day.
I should thank She Sight Magazine for this wonderful opportunity to share my, little kind of community work that I do. Hopefully it reaches a larger community, and, people start getting more socially conscious. Yeah, instead of just all the time, we're always living in our own bubble. I think we need to come out of that bubble and face the harsh reality and start doing something about it. Thank you, Doctor, again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.